Whitetail Edge is brought to you by Mossy Oak, Black Widow Deer Lures, Novix Tree Stands, Prime Archery, and G5 Outdoors.
So here we got a beautiful little tucked in spot. We call this the T-post plot. You've seen me talk about it many times. I killed that big buck 6x6 a few years ago. I call it T-post right here. Novix I got hung right there in that tree. But it's a perfect bedding ridge. It falls off on both sides. It goes out. It's just a great little tucked in spot to have these scrapes. We got a natural scrape tree right in the middle of this plot. Getting ready to till this thing up, and I'm going to put some analogics in here. I'm going to seed this one down because every year this is like our little green corner, and it just hasn't done real well. The last few years it's been kind of dry. So I'm going to put some hardy clover in here. I'm going to put some Analogics Pro Clover. I'm going to spread it in here once I get it tilled up, fertilized, put some deer grow, plot start on it, and hopefully we'll have a nice little clover plot. So what I want to show you is that T-post plot is just right out there. So it's right there, tractor sitting there running. But I wanted to show you what I was talking about in here. See how there's just a little bit of a flat right here. You can see the edge of the field out there. Then it comes in here and the contour instantly falls off. You can see the daylight, how it starts falling down. You can see how it just keeps going. Then but it makes these little ridges out here that go, and then these deer will lay on these benches just off of this, and sometimes they'll lay on these little points like this that get sun, especially as it gets into fall, foliage comes off, the weather starts getting colder. A lot of times those deer like the sun. Those does will bed in these sunlight areas like that you can see behind me. First thing in the morning, they'll go down in there and they'll lay down in those spots, get that sun in the morning, warm up. And then sometimes when you have a food source like this that's tucked back in, they'll get up at 9:30, 10:30, 11 o'clock and go feed a little bit, and then go back down and lay down, and then feed in the evening. Or it's same with an acorn patch. If you find a really good hot acorn patch, and you can get close to where those deer are bedding, or you can get into that acorn patch. That's why a lot of times those acorns are really hot mid-morning. Deer, just like people, they get fidgety. They don't want to just sit on their bellies all day long. So just something to keep in mind. And that's kind of why once in a while, if you can have a food plot tucked into an area that you can get in and out of it without being super intrusive, but yet it's close to some bedding, or you've created some bedding close to that food plot, it just makes that food plot so much better. I'm not saying always hunt over the food plot. In this situation, I can. It's the best way to hunt it for the wind. But sometimes it's better to get into a spot like this and catch them coming and going to your food plot. Because if you're always bumping deer off your plot, then it'll just make them quit wanting to go there. So a lot of times it's better to say in a situation like this, they're going to end up there in the evening. So if you're in here hunting on one of these trails that are headed to that plot and you don't see the buck you want to see that night, or you didn't shoot him, you can slip down out of your stand, and in a situation like this, you might have an access. You might have come in through the top, but then to get out, you may decide, I need to go down over this hill into the creek bottom and wind myself out to avoid bumping all the deer in the open fields. That's just some of the key things that help keep your farm or the place you're hunting, whether it's public, it doesn't matter where, but to keep those deer off of you and not knowing that they're being hunted as much as possible.
Whitetail Edge is brought to you by Redneck Blinds, HHA Sports, NFP Insurance, Miller's Gun and Supply, and Deer Grow.
So you can see the redneck there. And what I've got is I've got a field here the farmer planted the corn this year, but it didn't do a darn. Didn't germinate right or something. The deer ate what did grow. The other corn on the north end of the farm looks great. This corn here, just so you can see, there's lots of areas that just didn't come out of the ground. And then where it did come out of the ground, the deer hammered it. So I have to come in here and I'm doing some plots, and I'm trying to actually make a smaller green plot close to the blind to make a shot opportunity for somebody with a bow. I've got another spot back in the corner. I'll tuck in a green plot there. Then I may come back in and drill some of this into, I don't know. I may not though. I may just leave it. I'm still undecided because I want to have corn in here again next year. So I don't know that I'll plant any of it. Maybe right now I think I'm just trying to make a little plot that's close to the blind, draw the deer close enough for a shot. Typically the blind is here just for a fact of like muzzleloader season and things like that, where you can get a shot late season on a food source, with this standing corn here. That's always been the original plan with that blind on that corner, because you can shoot this whole food plot with a shotgun or a muzzleloader, and so like if we're entertaining somebody, they didn't get a bow tag, we can put them in a spot like this, and a lot of times we'll have certain bucks we want shot off the farm or some does, and it's a great low intrusion place to make that happen. So, but now I'm gonna, things change. You get thrown curveballs with this kind of stuff. So that's why I'm gonna try to put a little green close to this blind. You can see how we have that blind tucked in the trees. And when these deer come around this corner, just really, they're right in your lap. So we're gonna put some analogics in here. Probably gonna plant some perfect 10, I think, right here. It's a 10 seed blend. So we'll see how it works out.
Whitetail Edge is brought to you by Illusion Hunting Systems, Analogics, Blocker Outdoors, Deercast, Tenzing, and e-bikes of Holmes County. Whitetail Edge is brought to you by these other fine partners. Coming into the 2023 season, Ben had a goal of killing his third 200-inch deer, named Ranger.
Oh my gosh. I just shot a freaking giant. Yes. 19 points. Probably my biggest whitetail ever. Close to it. Well, we're in Illinois. I just got up in the stand here to tie in. We're on the big bottom. Bunch of rough stuff down in here, swampy. Got a couple big deer located, but we don't have the right wind to sit exactly where I want, so I have this stand hung, which could put me still in the roundhouse. It's that time of year where calling and things like that could really work good. Today's the 29th of October. It cooled down big time, got rain, everything, so we're gonna see deer this morning, I'm sure of that. Really gonna have to rely on their phase here because the wind. I got a big scrape in front of me. I made a mock scrape the other day, a black widow mock scrape. Hopefully they'll be on that side of the canal and we can shoot them there. I've got this this bottle mixed with matriarch. You can see our wind is kind of going right. But I've had this stuff save me a lot of times with deer downwind, so. Scrape over here the other day when I was in the stand. I don't know if they're using it or not. I haven't checked it. But I don't have camera. I don't have enough cameras, so I don't have a camera on it either. Javen's filming me, so that's cool. Picked him up from the airport yesterday. Haven't seen him in 2 years. Been 2 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a long
2
time.
falls. 21 when we killed Scissors was the last time I saw you.
I'm just happy to be here.
Well, Lord willing, we'll kill another big one. They're here. Scraping. That deer's a lot bigger than I thought he was. That's the insider, and there's no way we could have passed that deer. Oh, Javen, I swear to gosh, dude, me and you together are insane. Man, look at that shot, dude. The mega meat ripped him. This is definitely the insider. I gotta admit though, bro, I thought he was bigger. I thought he was older too. Ah, man. It's bittersweet in a sense, I guess, because like we reviewed the footage and I looked at it and I was like, watching it, I'm like, he still looks great, but man, he looked a lot bigger in person, and I normally don't screw up. But I think I hate to, I'm not trying to take anything from the deer because this is a great deer. I'm just mad because, in a sense, because this deer probably needed a year and I took him out. Ah, man, I normally don't do that kind of stuff. But I don't want to take from the deer. You know, we took his life. He gave us great footage. It was a good hunt. I mean, I was pumped. I was more excited killing this deer than I was Ranger. And I don't know if it's because I had Javen in the tree and just the way it went down with the calling and all that. I don't know, but it was a great hunt. So I just have to rest in that fact. And I mean, I'm happy. I'm disappointed that I took a deer like this out of the gene pool right now. Because he's got a lot of little points and a lot of things going on. And I actually found this deer's shed last year, but I didn't think he could possibly grow this much in 1 year. But maybe. I mean, like, I guess it did, because there's no doubt that it's that deer. I mean, there's just no doubt in my mind. And like, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm kind of just really disappointed in myself, not the deer, just disappointed in myself that I shot this deer. I just got caught up in the moment, you know, and guess I can never get mad at anybody for that happening. And, you know, I'm always the one telling everybody, don't do this, don't shoot that deer, he's this age, and then I go and I screw up. So, I don't know. Me and Javen were both just jacked out of our minds, but I guess it is what it is. Dan was trying to talk me off the ledge a little bit after I watched the footage, but yeah, I'm not real thrilled at myself. I'm happy, but great footage. But I guess this is just a good lesson, you know, and I don't hold back on Whitetail Edge. We show it, we talk about it, I tell the truth. I'm not going to sit behind this deer and try to make it sound like this is some giant old buck, because it is not. This is a superstar 3.5-year-old deer, and I would guess. I mean, I don't know how I messed that up, but I did, so I gotta live with it. So here's what it is.
Thank you for watching this episode of Whitetail Edge. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified when our next video drops. For more Whitetail Edge content, tune into the Whitetail Edge podcast on Apple and Spotify, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram.